Hi, my name is Charles Green. I'm an attorney here in the state of California, but I'm also a very, very experienced accountant, having worked as a CPA in both the states of New York and California for about 10 years before I became an attorney. I'm also a certified specialist in family law litigation, dealing with financially complex divorce and litigation cases with my accounting background. But today, the main focus of this little chat that we're going to have is I'm here to tell you that I will assist you in your complex tax problems with the IRS, the FTB, the EDD. So any type of federal, IRS, or California state tax problem that you have, you can give us a call here and I will help you. I have extensive experience with taxes and accounting and auditing. I have an MBA in accountancy and a law degree. So there's not yet a tax or financial problem that I'm not able to understand. And it's that understanding that I bring that makes it much easier for me to analyze a situation and explain it to the IRS in a way that may not have been apparent in the past. Now, there are tons of people out there trying to solicit you for tax controversy issues. But if you have a really complex issue, a difficult problem, and you want someone with extensive experience to be involved with it, and I also have some very experienced tax paralegals here at my office that will work with you, and we have bilingual English and Spanish skills. Now let's just talk a little bit about the common types of problems that people approach us to. One, we have the small businessman that is doing business, and it may not be that small, here and maybe in a third country, okay? And you may have dual citizenship, you may have one foot in the U.S., one foot in another country, and you're doing business in both countries, or you're doing business abroad, and you're doing tax returns abroad, or you should be. But then you also have obligations to file taxes here in the U.S. It is the combination of these foreign tax returns for your business and maybe personal, and U.S. tax returns that are complex, and these are things we can handle. I am a registered filer, electronic filer with the Internal Revenue Service and the state of California. So I can file your tax returns electronically. Okay. One of the common problems that I've seen is a lack of understanding of financial statements and the analysis of the accounts that make up a financial statement. So the IRS may audit your tax return and may decide that they're going to open up an audit on your small business. Now, they haven't seen the account analysis or the detail behind what's appearing on the tax return. And that is where I have expertise. I understand the financial statements, and I can walk the IRS through. And I may even have a perspective different than the IRS or your accountant that prepared those tax returns and financial statements. Because if necessary, I will look at the detail that makes up the balance of these numbers. For example, in a recent IRS audit that I represented a taxpayer in, the IRS was asserting that money removed from the business was taxable income. All right. And then the taxpayer was letting his accountant handle that for a little while, and they were looking at a tremendous tax bill. I took a look at the situation, and I interpreted that the money removed from the business could be considered a return of equity based on the entire circumstances of what was going on in that year for the small business and the taxpayer and the surrounding years and the history of the business. Okay, so a return of equity is not a taxable event. So that's a zero tax. That's what I would consider an audit win. All right. So if you have been contacted by the IRS or the Franchise Tax Board or the EDD, you need to give us a call here at the Law Office of Charles Green, and we will help you. Let us represent you in the audit, okay? Let us interact with the Internal Revenue Service. One advantage that hiring a tax attorney has over just letting an accountant or a tax preparer handle your controversy, your tax controversy issues with the government is that we have attorney-client privilege. In other words, you and I can talk in confidence, and that remains confidential in almost all circumstances. And that is not something that you would enjoy as a benefit of dealing with an accountant. Okay, you do not have attorney-client privilege with your accountant in the same manner that you have it with a licensed California attorney. So that is a big difference. Okay, what we talk about, what you tell me, confidential, and I cannot be forced to reveal that without your consent. Very important distinction. All right. One other area that we see a lot of people come running to our office with an emergency, a very common issue, is you're running a business, mid-size or small business, and you're trying to do your payroll taxes with a smaller accounting firm or a bookkeeping service, or maybe yourself on QuickBooks, and you're just juggling those tax deposits, those payroll tax deposits, and you get a little behind, and then bam, the state authorities or federal authorities come in, and they're going to levy your operating account for the past due payroll taxes, and if they do that, you're not going to be able to make payroll. All right, this is one of the most common issues that people come to us in an emergency. And if you come for that, we will do what we can to stop the levy and to get the IRS or the FTB or the EDD back on track so that your business will survive, okay? Sometimes we've had to have discussions with tax authorities, very polite discussions, where we explain to them that if they follow through, this business will be unable to operate. 20, 30, 40, 50 people will lose their jobs, and that's not the mission of the federal, state government tax authorities. And we have been very successful in many circumstances with payroll tax levies and other issues surrounding payroll tax issues. Sometimes when you come to us, we're going to have to redo your payroll tax returns, amend them. We might have to amend and redo prior business and personal tax returns. But this is all going to be analyzed after you become our client and we get deeply into the financial circumstances and the analysis of the relevant accounts of your business. And when I say accounts, okay, I'm not talking about just your bank accounts. I'm talking about what is in the bookkeeping of each account that somehow was combined with other accounts or with many transactions and traveled to your tax return as a line item. We're going to analyze that, okay? And we're going to make sure that we can present it to the IRS in a way that's going to mitigate any misunderstandings, okay? And mitigate your tax liabilities. And maybe your accountant approached something in a way that can be approached differently. And then we'll seek permission to do amended returns during or after an audit, or as part of the whole audit process, or maybe before an audit. Okay, so we are here to interact with the IRS agents instead of you trying to do it yourself. So again, I can't strongly say this enough. If you have a serious tax problem, bring it to a tax attorney. Okay, it's the accountants are very good at preparing returns at certain times and doing bookkeeping, but when you start to talk about interpretation of the law and taxes, the law and financial transactions, go to an attorney. That's beyond the scope of what most accountants are trained to do and understand. And that is one of my expert areas, is understanding financial statements, understanding taxes. Okay, I have many years of tax controversy experience. I did that before I was a lawyer, and I have continued to do it while I'm a lawyer. And I'm also a litigation attorney, dealing with complex financial oriented divorce cases, which involve a lot of the similar information of financial statement analysis and tax return analysis, tracing issues. So when you have an IRS problem, FTB problem, EDD problem, payroll tax problem, call the law office of Charles M. Green. Let us help you. Thank you.